Hey everybody, welcome back to Irish Turning Point News. I am Emily O'Neill Elmer.
And this is Rosa Lindsay. We are really excited to announce that Brian Kelly has signed a 5-year contract extension with Notre Dame. We look forward to seeing him on the field till 2017.
As everybody knows by now, Notre Dame beat the Temple Owls last Saturday in a solid 6-28 victory. And we picked out some highlight players of the game we're going to go over with you now. Rose, who did you pick?
I picked Tommy Rees as my highlight player. He had a career-high 346 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. He completed 16 of 23 passes. He had those 2 big plays to DeVaris Daniels within the first 5 minutes. I think he did a really great job, so he's my pick for player of the game.
Yep, and I think Tommy really had some great plays. I think the theme of the night was big plays from him. I mean, he really proved the critics wrong. You know, a lot of people with Tommy said he didn't have a big arm, the athleticism just wasn't there, and I think he really came out right out of the gate in the first quarter and wanted to show people that he can really deliver when called upon to do long passes.
Okay, Emily, so who is your player of the game?
I'm going to go with Amir Carlisle. I think that he really stood out. Initially, before the game, we kind of speculated on who would take over running back duties for Theo Riddick and Sierra Wood, who have both moved on to the NFL. And I initially thought that it was going to be Atkinson that took those over, but I really feel like Carlisle stepped up. He had 68 yards, 7 carries, 9.7 yards a carry. That's a very good average. And he also had 2 catches for 5 yards, which doesn't jump out at you off the page. However, you're seeing him evolve into more of that hybrid slot role, and Notre Dame hasn't had a slot back for a long time, so I really think that if he can evolve into that, he can be very potent against the Michigan defense. And I also want to point out that he did rush out of the pistol formation, which was something that I spoke about last week. I was very happy. His first play, he rushed for 45 yards right out of the pistol and really just powered through the Temple defense. So that is why he is my pick for player of the game.
Yes, I really enjoyed seeing him on the field.
All right, so up next we have Notre Dame taking on the University of Michigan, and it will be at the Big House this Saturday, 5 on the West Coast, 8 on the East. And Rose, tell me about Michigan's last game.
Well, Emily, Michigan played Central Michigan. They had a good offensive day. They had 247 yards rushing and 221 yards passing. Their quarterback, Devin Gardner, ran for 2 touchdowns and threw for 1. He had 2 interceptions in the day, though, so we're hoping that our defense can get some of those interceptions.
And the statistics from the game against Central Michigan might be slightly skewed, though. Yes. So they're not playing, I mean, yeah, they got, good amount of rushing yards, but it really isn't, they aren't telling statistics.
Yes.
What is telling, though, is that the University of Michigan continues to have the number 5th ranked passing defense in the nation, a statistic that's carried over from 2002. They lost 2 players in their secondary. However, most of the unit remains intact, and they do have good depth at those positions, so you can expect the passing game to be affected. I'm not anticipating a lot of big throws from Rees like we saw last time.
Yeah.
With all that pressure on the passers, you can expect that the rushing game is going to have to step it up, and that's where I think Carlisle is really going to come into play. Last year, Michigan had the number 51st rushing D in the nation, so their strength against the run is not very good, and I really expect Carlisle and Cam McDaniel, surprisingly, to have a pretty good game there. And so do you want to tell us a little bit about the Michigan offense?
And the Notre Dame defense might want to keep an eye on Michigan's running back, Fitzgerald Toussaint.
Fitzgerald picks up right where Denard Robinson left off. He's a very quick east-to-west running scat back, and at 5'10", 195, he has that low center of gravity to really get in there between the defensive linemen and get through the plays. So we really need to keep an eye on him, especially the D-line, to make sure that you don't open up any running lanes for him, because he has explosive power when he gets an open hole.
I'm really excited to see this game on Saturday. College Game Day will be there, so it will be broadcast nationally.
Yep, and this is really, I really feel that this game is going to be a turning point for the season. If University of Michigan beats us in this, it's really going to set up a negative, call for the rest of the season. I really feel like if we beat this game, I think the AP is going to take us seriously. I think the coaches are going to start recognizing it, and I think we're going to move into the top 10 with this victory. So, which I definitely feel is completely manageable.
Yeah.
The receivers definitely need to keep an eye out for the Michigan secondary because that is their strongest unit. We need to keep an eye out for their running game. The quarterback is good, but he's inexperienced, and I feel that our experienced defense can exploit that.
The last 4 games between Notre Dame and Michigan have been decided by 7 points or less. But I think as long as we win the turnover battle and take care of the ball, it'll be a great game to watch.
Yep, and we're all looking forward to it. ESPN will be there. We'll be there. Thank you for watching the Irish Turning Point News. I am Emily O'Neill Elmer.
And I'm Rose Lindsay.
And thanks for watching, and please hit subscribe.